Hey everybody, what's going on? This is your man, brother Devin. Um, I got some good news and some somewhat bad news. Okay, so good news is we're we're about to do the lecture. Bad news is I'm not going to be able to break down this lecture the the way that I specifically want to. So I'm gonna give my metaphysical and occult meaning of politics, but I'm going to um, basically give my metaphysical and occult opinion on the Donald Trump and Kamala Harris election, and possibly
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
possibly get give some insight on the upcoming election. My 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 Echo TV thought I was talking to it when I wasn't. But yeah, man. So with that being said, let's get started. All right. Yeah, what up, y'all? This your man, brother Devin, aka the Hogwarts Hoodlum, aka the Celestial Prince, and we are back with another lecture, and it's metaphysical and occult magic time. just, just goofing off. All right. So, in all seriousness, tonight's lecture is called the the metaphysical and occult opinion on the Donald Trump and Kamala Harris election. I'm gonna have to when I put this on YouTube, I'm gonna have to label it Donald Trump and KH. Okay. I don't even think she's been sworn in to be our president just yet. So I'm not even gonna be giving her that title. Um, and and how she uh how she got herself as candidate was crazy. But I ain't gonna say too much. I'm I'm gonna just leave my personal opinion out of it and just get back and just get right to the lecture. And also too, within this lecture, let me not forget that I'm going to be sharing um, Donald Trump's and Kamala Harris's um, policies, what they plan to do for the 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 time of late 2024 going into early 2025 by next year. All right, and then I'll give my final thought towards the end of this lecture. So all right, so you you all know Donald Trump's uh, upbringing. He was born and raised in New York. Um, I want to say he's in his 50s, 58 somewhere in there. I don't know. I can't remember. And and uh, I think Kamala was raised in New York as well. Um, Overall, I want to say that when Donald Trump came in office, his slogan was "Make America Great Again." Um, I got to give a shout out to Young Pharaoh because Young Pharaoh was able to um, he was able to thoroughly observe what Donald Trump did, and no, I'm not claiming to be a Donald Trump supporter, so let's not go there because that's not what this is about. However, I will openly admit that when Trump took his first term, I was back in 2018. I was actually happy that he passed a law for us to use cryptocurrency back on September 18th of 2018, and I was very happy about that because at the time I was working in cryptocurrency. I was working with a company called Carrot Bars, which is now called something else. I I don't know exactly the name that they changed it to. I know that the original owner of Carrot Bars, Harold Seitz, he 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 gave the ownership of Carrot Bars to another person, but you know, Donald Trump is the reason why um, we 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 all have access to cryptocurrency now. So when it comes down to him, thank you for that. Um, I don't I don't really know any positive things that uh, Kamala has. Uh, yeah, I don't really know any positive things that Kamala Harris has done, and to be quite honest with you, I'm gonna be blunt about it. I really don't care. Um, I'm just here to give a symbolic and spiritual meaning behind it. Uh, so um, like I said, Donald Trump's slogan was make America great again." But what? But what I'm confused about is what exactly did he really make great? Other than um other than cause racial tension within his presidency, and the only thing he did great, other than stimulus checks and get people out of prison. What else did he do? Um, I remember seeing on the internet that he gave homeless people homes. Um, I forgot some other stuff that he did for black people. But yeah. So uh, metaphysically speaking, as you can see, Donald Trump has on a red tie. This is the negative symbolism of Donald Trump. The blue tie represents his positive side. Um, this is just my opinion. Um, I and I'm gonna say that again for YouTube. What I'm about to say next is my opinion, YouTube team. It it doesn't mean that what I'm saying is true. This is for entertainment purposes only. All right, but what I think happened is the the real Donald Trump died, and when they killed him off, um, they cloned him twice. For us to see that artificially they 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 messed with his negative DNA, and they manipulated his positive DNA. So you got two different types of so you got two different types of Trumps running around. And so the and I also want to give a shout out to uh, the the great Dr. Panic, FKA Brother Panic, for this, because he said that um, occult symbolic wise, Donald Trump represented he represented the ego of America from an occult point of view. All right, so he symbolizes the ego. All right, um, and on the and on, now from a positive occult point of view, he symbolizes inspiration. Uh, in, inspiration for those that support him and elect him to be in office, and uh, inspiration for those that inspiration for others that are on the planet. I can say he's inspiration for others on the planet. But on the negative side of things, we all know that he represents ego. Okay. Now going going into Kamala Harris. Uh, well, what I'm aware of is that she is a what I'm aware of about Kamala Harris is that she is a Democratic Republican. And I know this according to the little bit of research that I've done on her. Yeah, she's a Democratic Republican, and I know that um, she's allowed immigrants to come here. Okay, and so her slogan is, when we fight, we will win. But the question is, who are you fighting? And you will win what? Because I have yet to see change being done. The last time I checked, Kamala Harris said she 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 wasn't doing anything for just black people. And I'm not I'm not gonna lie, that had me upset. But I had to realize that when you are the United States president, and and as a president, you only have seven you only have seven executive orders and powers as a U.S. president. Um, I, I forgot what the seven powers of presidency is. Hold on, let me look that up. All right. So this is a quick quick breakdown of the seven presidential powers. Okay, and these powers are, this is powers given to the president in the Constitution. Uh, he had he or she who becomes president has the right to appoint power to people. They have the power to convene Congress. They have the power to make treaties. They have the power to veto laws. And they have the power uh, to be commander in chief. Just in case, like ter- terroristic threats are are made against our United States um, pre- president and government. Um, pardoning power. In this case, if somebody goes to jail or prison for a crime that they didn't commit, they have the right to uh, set that person free. And ordinance power. Hold on one second. Or ordinance power is the ability to give executive orders in office, like um, Gen- General so and so tell Lieutenant so and so to do this, that, and this. Um, uh, um, Chief 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 Wiggums, arrest this person. The crimes that they committed is crazy. Um, Chef Shazam, make me some onion rings and spare ribs, that sort of thing. So that is my uh, practical way of explaining what the seven powers of the um, president are. That's my way of this. That's my way of explaining the seven powers of the president. Okay, the president only has seven powers. He doesn't have the power to change government. He can only he can only do what his powers limit him or her to do as a president. They don't have the ability to do anything else um, be, beyond their presidential policies as president. Okay, in the United States, it 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 it, it is only the president's job to um, approve a law, not make a law. And if a president makes a law, it has to be decided by the executive branch, which is Congress and the Supreme Court. And my spirit just said right. I I took I took I took uh, uh, um I took I took judicial. Yeah, I took I took judicial and world government back in school. So I might not know a lot about politics and how it works. I definitely I definitely know enough to make practical sense out of it. Okay, this is exactly why I said I'm just giving my metaphysical and occult opinion, not necessarily of a full breakdown. Oh yeah, and shout out to my grandparents, um, Janelle D with it, and and Henry T with it. My my grandmother was actually, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Once again, shout out to my grandparents, um, Janelle D. Cosmic shout out, cosmic and celestial shout out to my grandparents, Janelle D. with it, and my grandpa Henry T. with it. My my grandmother, when my mom never came to my grandma, when my mom wasn't, coming to visit my grandma's house. My grandmother would teach me and the rest of my family members that was living in her house exopolitics, and she would my grandma was very conscious. She knew, she knew what really happened with the assassination of John F. Kennedy. She knew why. So she knew why she knew why Saddam Hussein got killed. All that, and I know this because she used to have conscious buddies call her, and they would build with her. You know what I mean? I got a story about that, but yeah, my grandma was on that, conscious tip for a long while. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really doing this lecture slash blog for them. All right, let's continue on. All right, so now that we know what the seven president, now that we know what the seven presidential powers are, why don't we go into both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's policies, um, for the end of 2024 going into 2025. All right. Before I begin reading off these policies, I want to give a shout out to Celeb Sauce, Mrs. Celeb Sauce of the Celeb Sauce YouTube channel, your source for celebrity and entertainment news. Um, Now she did a video um, talking about she did a video tying it into Diddy and the election with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, and I asked her if I can use these these policy slides that she did to read to y'all what Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's policies are to you guys. I got her approval, and I also have proof of that also. Um, in case anything funny happens, but anyway, she's good. She's good people's. I have nothing against her. Okay, let's get down to what these policies are. All right, so democracy. Let's read what Trump has to say. Trump says vote for him, and you won't have to vote again in 4 years. This will be the last time you have to vote. Excuse me. I say his executive power. Trump's approach to executive power often emphasized a, a robust, assertive role for presidency, which sometimes raised concerns about potential outreach. All right, let's go to let's go to Kamala's policy for democracy. Kamala says you won't ever have to vote again. She's the only choice you have because she believes in term limits and the fair and democratic transition of power. Executive power. Harris has a senator and vice president. I'm sorry. Harris, as a senator and vice president, has generally advocated for a balanced approach to executive power with checks and balances that respect both the role of the presidency and the other branches of government. All right, we we got a lot more slides to go, so let's do it. Economic policies. Trump's economic policy is Trump wants to make America's economy less reliant on taxes and put tariffs on um oh I think that's supposed to say um imports coming in. Yeah, it says imports. My phone is cracked on the side, guys. I'm sorry, but he wants he wants less re- relate reliance on taxes and tariff and tariffs on imports coming into the country. Trade policies, e.g., tariffs on China, wants to place a 10% tariff on all imports. The tariff for all imports for China would be 60%. Tax cuts and job as of the Act of 2017, Trump also wants to extend his 2017 tax cuts, which lowered the corporate tax rate to 21%.
deregulation of banks, wants to eliminate taxes on tipped wages. Kamala, Kamala Harris's economic policies is tax policies proposals focused on middle class tax cuts. Proposals a new $6,000 tax credit to families with newborns and aims to restore the expanded child tax credit from the American Rescue Plan and wants to reduce income inequality by giving the middle class, working class, a $500 a month refundable tax credit, $6,000 per couple annually. This credit can be redeemed in $600 a month increments to help with household expenses instead of waiting to the taxes. Wants to eliminate taxes on tipped wages. I think that's referring to like trade and good on supplies being shipped from overseas to here in Americas, especially with dealing with the issues in restaurants because I know that waitresses, both male and female, they complain about the tips they get, not truly understanding that we're all affected by the economy, but I mean, not realizing that we're all affected by the economy, but you know, who am I to judge? So I digress. Alrighty, healthcare policies. All right, let me read what Trump has to say. Trump says he wants to give repeal and replacement of the Affordable Care Act. This is also it's also referring to Obamacare. Expansion of short-term health plans does not support Medicare for all or the creation of an optional public health plan similar to Medicare. Lowered insulin copays for some beneficiaries support the repeal of Roe v. Wade court pact, the Supreme Court with justices that are pro-life and voted to overturn Roe v. Wade in 2022. Former President Donald Trump signed an act requiring non-governmental organizations receiving federal funding to agree to neither perform nor actively promote abortion as a method of family planning in other nations. Okay? Let me read what Kamala Kamala has to say. And Miss Celeb I'll be sure to tag your name in my lecture and give you a shout out again. Okay? All right. So okay. Um Vice President Kamala says support for the Affordable Care Act. Then it says she wants to give a public option for healthcare. She puts emphasis on mental health and women's health services. Wants to place a $35 per month cap on drugs like insulin. Supports reproductive rights and Roe versus Wade after the 2022 U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. She called on Congress to pass a new law guaranteeing access to the procedure for women across the country. She also wants to require any state passed law limiting reproductive freedoms to undergo approval from the Department of Justice before being enacted. Okay? Okay. Let's check out Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's policies for housing. Donald Trump says he's promising to lower housing costs by stopping the unsubstantial invasion of legal aliens which is driving up housing costs. He he pledges to deport undocumented immigrants, which could cut back temporarily on housing demand. Trump also promises Trump also promises to fix affordability through lower borrowing costs. He pledges to eliminate costly regulations and free up appropriate portions of federal land for housing, promising to increase housing supply for expanding the low income housing tax credit, providing incentives for state and local investment in housing, and creating a $40 billion tax credit to make affordable projects economically feasible for builders. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing Kamala's policies, by the way. Okay, so I read that part. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. Um, Vice President Ka- um, Kamala Kamala Harris also wants to spur home construction and proposes giving a $25,000 in federal assistance to first-time home buyers seeking to enter into the market. She's worked closely with President Biden to infuse a $5.5 billion into the housing market to boost housing supply, lower housing costs, expand rental assistance, and enhance renter protections. Rental protections. Okay, next one. What are former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris's policies on inflation? Let's check it out. All right. Shout out to Celeb Sauce for all your celebrity, hip hop, and entertainment news. All right. These slides I'm using is from her channel. All this portion of my lecture / blog goes to her. Okay. Okay. It says Trump promised to pay off national debt now running at 35 trillion, to which he added, let me move this back some, to which he added nearly 6 trillion while he was president. Wow. Proposes eliminating laws on Social Security benefits to help seniors cope with inflation. Trump says he plans to sign an executive order on his first day back to the Oval Office, directing all agency heads and cabinet secretaries to use every tool and authority at their disposal to defeat inflation and to bring consumer prices rapidly down. Okay? Those are his policies. Let's read Vice President Kamala's. All right? Her policies for inflation are price gouging, proposes a federal ban on price gouging, particularly in groceries. And 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 Stinkter I don't know how you say that. Sorry, Mr. Love Sauce. Stricter regulations on corporations profiting excessively. She says she wants to target businesses that aren't playing by the rules by illegally hiking prices. She also noted that ensuring competition in the industry is essential to bringing down grocery costs for Americans. And she wants to implement bipartisan infrastructure. She wants to implement the bipartisan infrastructure law, which will mean goods move to market more quickly and cheaper, and fostering new investments in the United States for critical goods and drove up inflation during the pandemic. That that's I think that's sort of cool. We get everything a little bit earlier in the grocery stores. Okay, next is former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris's foreign policies. Let's read what their foreign policies are. Okay, so here it says, let me move the slide over so I can see it. NATO. Trump has been critical of NATO, previously suggesting that the U.S. might withdraw from the alliance if other member nations do not commute. Oh, I'm sorry. If other nations do not contribute, excuse me, that was contribute more financially. China. Trump has taken a hardened stance on China, advocating for high, high tariffs on Chinese goods and proposing new restrictions on Chinese owned infrastructure in the U.S. He has focused heavily on reducing Chinese influence in the U.S. economy and military affairs. Middle East and Israel. Excuse me. Trump is a staunch supporter of Israel, having moved the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem during his presidency. He vowed to end conflicts like Gaza and those in Gaza through decisive action. All right. Now we're gonna read what Kamala's foreign policies are. NATO. Kamala Harris supports maintaining strong relationships with NATO and their allies. In regards to China, Vice President Kamala Harris, Vice President, excuse me, I almost dropped the phone. Vice President Kamala Harris has criticized Trump's handling of China, particularly regarding trade. She she supports a balanced approach that addresses human rights issues while maintaining strategic competition. She has voiced strong support for Taiwan's self-defense. Okay? What about in the Middle East and Israel? Harris supports a two-state solution for Israel and, and Palestine and has been more cautious about Israel's military actions in Gaza, sometimes advocating for restraint. She has called for immediate ceasefire given the immense scale of suffering in Gaza. Okay. Man, do I do I need to get back into learning world government a little more? Cuz I don't I don't clearly get what any of this stuff means, but I'm reading. I'm doing my best, you guys. Okay. Let's check out Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's policies on immigration. All right. So Trump implemented the zero balance policy, which led to the prosecution of all illegal border crossers, resulting in family separations as children were taken from their parents while adults were held in detention. Prioritized building a wall along the U.S. Mexico border to prevent illegal immigration and significantly reduced the number of refugees allowed into the U.S. Issued an executive order restricting travel from several predominantly Muslim countries, enforced the public charge rule, which made it more difficult for immigrants who might use public benefits like food or housing assistance to obtain green cards. Okay. Next, we're going to listen to Kamala Harris' side. Okay. Vice President Kamala Harris supports a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, especially for those who were brought to the U.S. as children. supports addressing the root causes of migration, particularly from Central America, by investing in economic development, combating corruption, and improving security in these countries. She, she wants to modernize the immigration system by improving border security and ensure fair and humane treatment for, I mean, sorry, fair and humane treatment of immigrants. Okay? Vice President Kamala Harris supports the DACA program, which provides temporary protection from deportation for undocumented and individuals that have been brought to the United States as children. Also wants to reunite families. Oh, okay. These sound good. Okay. Next slide. Okay. I'm gonna slide this a little closer so that I can see it and read it. Okay. What are Donald Trump and Kamala Harris's policies for education? Deregulation. Trump favors reducing federal regulations on educational institutions, especially for profit colleagues, to encourage, slide that over, to encourage flexibility and innovation. School choice. Former President Donald Trump is a strong advocate for school choice, including voucher and charter schools, which he believes will give parents more options outside of traditional public schools. Department of Education. Donald Trump has suggested demanding the Department of Education shifting more control to states and local governments. Okay, we're going to read Kamala's side. Vice President Kamala Harris's on student debt relief. It says Harris supports broad student debt cancellation, emphasizing relief for lower and middle income borrowers. She advocates for free community college and making public universities tuition free for